Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me today for another Alfred Hitchcock Presents review. Today I will be talking about Season 5, Episode 2, The Crystal Trench, starring James Donald and Patricia Owens. And The Crystal Trench has a little bit of a different premise than normal for Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which I appreciate. I appreciate them doing something a little bit different. However, this episode didn't totally work for me, which is surprising considering it was directed by Alfred Hitchcock, but in the end, I thought it wound up okay, which I'll explain more as I go. So we start with Alfred Hitchcock, and he's up in the mountains doing some mountain climbing, apparently. It was an okay setup for the episode. So we start with a group of gentlemen, and one of them is narrating, named Mark, and we're in the Alps in 1907, I believe it is. They're very specific on that. And there's some men talking, and one of them says he saw some people climbing some very dangerous mountains, and the others don't really believe him, but he says it looks like one of the men was in trouble. So shortly after, it's reported to our main character, one of our main characters, Mark, that there was an accident and that one of the men passed away, and they want Mark to tell his wife. They haven't been married that long, as we'll find out soon. So Mark gets this sad task. So eventually Mark meets with this lady. Her name is Stella. And he tells her that her husband's dead after they chat for a few minutes. And she's naturally very upset. They haven't been married that long. I think she says only 6 months or so. And she says she really wants the body. She wants to see him one last time. You can tell that she was really attached to this guy. So a group goes up to retrieve the body, but when they find it, they lose it, and it like falls off the cliff way down below. So Mark feels personally responsible for this, that he failed, and it turns out he's also falling for Stella, which, you know, you kind of just got to go with it. They haven't known each other that long. I guess it was love at first sight for this guy. But he feels so responsible that he decides he's going to help her out to try and get over this. So they go to visit this man who led the group because Stella wants more information on this whole thing. He explains what happened, that her husband did really pass away. She says, "How do you know what happened?" He says that we know because we stayed with him until he died. She doesn't seem too happy with this. She snaps on the guy. She's really upset, but they never come back to this guy, so I guess it just kind of is what it is. It was to give you more information on what happened. At this point, I'm wondering where the episode's going, but honestly, I'm not really that invested. The episode just feels a bit dull to me if I'm being honest about it, but others might be more interested in what's going on. So Stella's still determined to remember her husband. Mark tells her you can't live in the past, but she seems to certainly want to live in the past at this point. So we get some more narration, more time passes. It seems like Mark and Stella have been staying in touch, but no more than that. But Mark decides the time is right. He decides he's going to propose to Stella. She turns him down. She said, "If I could ever marry anyone else, it would be you." But she says, "I can't, and I'll explain to you why." So we go to another scene, and this episode's dragging a bit at this point, honestly. There's just not enough of a hook, in my opinion, to this episode. But that's just me. So they go to see this professor, and he's talking about glaciers, which wasn't particularly interesting either. But we find out that it turns out that her husband might be able to be retrieved in 40 years, the body. So it seems like Stella wants to wait. Now, what she thinks she's going to do, I guess she just needs to see him one last time again. I guess she just got to kind of go with it. So even more time passes, and I guess the 40 years has gone by, and it's time to dig up her husband, who I believe his name was Michael. So eventually they find the body, and her husband still looks young, while Mark and herself look elderly for sure. This was kind of a strange contrast, and I guess it's effective in showing you how much time has really gone by, and this woman's pretty much given up most of her life to see this body again. But when they dig out the body, they also find that her ex-husband, Michael, had a locket on him with a picture of a woman, and the woman's picture was not Stella. So basically, she spent all this time longing for her husband, and he had a picture of another woman. Kind of a very disturbing and kind of a downer ending, but strangely, as much as I wasn't really invested in this episode, the ending did kind of work for me in a strange kind of way. I think I'll remember it. So while I didn't think the episode was that great because the ending worked, I'm going to give The Crystal Trench a 2.5 out of 5. I just had a hard time getting into this episode, getting invested in the characters and what was going on. And I thought Hitchcock's direction actually could have been a little better, which isn't something I usually say, but I just didn't feel the story was that involving. But for those that like, kind of a downer story with kind of just an interesting, if straightforward ending, this episode might work better for you than it did for me. And it is unique. But, for me, just a 2.5 out of 5 for The Crystal Trench. And as always, thank you very much for watching.